everyone. Hello, hello, hello. It is Teresa from Teresa's Spot for Art. Welcome to 12 Days of Christmas, Ornament Edition. Thank you to our host, Brenda from Rustic and Lace DIY and Jackie from Crafting in Mimi's World. Again, I am Teresa. We're going to be doing some easy ornaments for you guys. I have out some tags. I'm going to turn you around and we are going to get started. So I have out a few napkins. We're going to decoupage. I have some Mod Podge. I have these stencils. And I have these 3 wood tags. So, first thing I want to do is base coat these. You can base coat your surfaces if you want. You don't have to. I like to base coat underneath Mod Podging, depending on my design. Like this napkin's background is white. This one's a little off-white. So painting the background of your surface that you're going to Mod Podge on gives a much different look to your napkin, your tissue paper, or whatever it is, because those are kind of translucent. If I was using copy paper or something a little thicker, magazine paper for collage, I wouldn't worry about base coating my surface. I'm going to make these 2-sided. So the one side is going to be decoupage, and then the other side is going to be stenciled with a word. I have out these really cool tag stencils from Essential Stencil, Noel and Joy and Peace. This one's Believe, Merry and Bright. This one is Merry Christmas, Tree Farm, and Christmas Trees. I'm just doing a very light coat. We don't even care if it's full coverage or not. We just want a little bit more of a background when we Mod Podge over our paint. If you base coat your surfaces, you want to make sure that they're totally dry before you get to the Mod Podge part. Make sure my hands are nice and clean. The first part, what I'm going to do is with this Christmas tree napkin, and I only have to use one section of the napkin. So I'm going to get my scissors, and I'm just going to cut this part off. And I'm going to put this aside. If you like my Essential Stencils, you can use my promo code. It's Stencil Spot for 10% off your order. Now I'm taking, this is a 3-ply napkin. Come up here to the corner and take off my glasses. And when I say 3-ply, here's 1, here's 2, and then here's 3. We only want the top part of the napkin that has the artwork on it. You can keep this or throw it away. I'm tossing it. It is totally up to you. And then I'm going to make sure where I want this. I think that's going to be perfect right there. Okay. So I'm going to open up my Mod Podge. You can put it in something if you want. I use it right out of the container. Some people may frown upon that, but that's just how I do it. And I'm just going to put a little bit at a time. So I'm just doing the top part with a thin coat of Mod Podge. You don't need a really thick coat if you're doing napkins. I'm going to hover over, because once you place your napkin down, it's a one-shot deal. So I'm going to try and eyeball it and then drop it and tap it a little bit. Okay. I'm going to work out these wrinkles here with my little finger. I'm not using a lot of pressure. Napkins are very thin and they will tear. And so now that I have done that section, I'm going to do a little bit at a time. So I'm going to put down a little bit more Mod Podge and slowly apply my napkin. A little bit more. Again, slowly apply my napkin. The less wrinkles, the better. And if you do it in sections like this and work your way down, That'll help you not have wrinkles. And again, you don't want a thick coat of Mod Podge. You want a very thin coat of Mod Podge when you're working with napkins or tissue paper. So there we go. And gently press it down. Okay. Then I'm going to get my Mod Podge again, and I'm going to put a sealer coat. I'm not worried about the hole right now. I can come in later and pop a hole in with scissors. When I do my seal coat of Mod Podge, I'm working from the middle to the outside. Make sure you have a decent amount of Mod Podge in your brush. You want your brush to move softly and not tear the napkin. And I'm working my way to the outside. And we're just going to put this aside for now. The next napkin I'm going to use is this snowman. But this time, I want my snowman. I don't know how much of the bird I'm going to get. I'm going to cut out this part of the napkin. And then I'm going to fussy cut around my snowman. Put that aside. And when I say fussy cut, I'm going to try and cut as close to around the snowman as possible. I'm not going to take my napkin apart yet because it's easier to cut and handle when you have all the plies in there and it's not too extremely thin and flimsy. Okay, I've gotten my snowman cut out, fussy cut all around. I'm going to come up here. I'm going to see if it's a 2-ply or a 3-ply napkin. Let's see if I can get my fingernail in there. And this is only a 2-ply napkin, so I just have to separate the two parts very carefully. Easy does it. Did it. Okay. Now before I do this one, I'm going to put a few snowflakes on the back. So this is a 2-pack. This one has Christmas trees and snowflakes and deer heads for patterns. Actually, it's a 3-pack. I apologize. So it has the reindeer head, the pine trees, and then different snowflakes. 3-pack winter. And I'm just going to get a small one, put out a little light blue. I don't want a really, really dark color. I'm going to get my stencil brush. The most important thing about stenciling is after you pick up the paint, you want to pounce it off. You want to have very, very light coats of paint so your stencil does not bleed. See that? I only did a partial there. Here I'm going to do the whole one. And these are just going to be peeking out from behind. I'm not even loading my brush with any more paint. I picked up the tiniest bit of paint. Maybe we'll do another one here. Again, not picking up any more paint. This one's just going to be pretty light. Okay. We have our guy here. This is going to go just like that. I'm just trying to eyeball where I need to put my Mod Podge. It's okay if I have Mod Podge extended on here because I'm going to go in and put a coat over the whole thing once I put this section on here. So I'm going to be very careful, one-shot deal. So I'm lining up the bottom. I'm holding on to my bird for a second here. Easy does it. Tapping, tapping, tapping. I might not have gone high enough. I did not. Light taps with my finger, working from the inside out and down. Isn't that cute? All right, let me get another little bit of Mod Podge, and we're going to do our top coat. The easiest way to get off the excess is once it's dry and sanding it off. Or you can turn it upside down and use a craft knife. Totally up to you. But you want it to be very, very dry or your paper will just tear. And now I'm going to do this really beautiful front door. Isn't that nice? Again, I'm only going to cut this section. And this time I'm not going to fussy cut. I'm going to leave the whole thing. I'm just cutting this section out of the napkin. See how that's going to line up. I guess that'll be good. So yeah, I'm going to cut the part off with the lantern. So I'm going to come as close to the lantern as possible. And I'm just going to cut straight down. And again, I'm going to come in here. I'm going to see how many plies this napkin has. Find a corner. And this might be another 3-plier. Yes, it is. It is 2 here. They're together. And then the one with the artwork. Gently peel them apart. And I'm going to Mod Podge this one the same way I did the first tree. And then again for the top coat. Okay, so now that these are dry, I'm just going to take my sanding block and I'm just going to gently sand around the edges. I'm pulling down with my sander and it's just gently tearing away the napkin from my surface. Now I'm going to flip them over and we're going to base coat the opposite side and the edges. The first one I'm going to do is my snowman here. And I'm going to use the Joy tag for this one with the snowflake. Right there. Oh, get it the right way. Right there. But before I do that, I'm going to get out my buffalo check. This is also a multi-pack. It has 3 different sizes of buffalo check. Small, medium, and large. I'm going to use the medium one for this tag. Okay. Keep my finger. I'm going to put out a little bit of... Actually, I'm going to just put out gray. I have gray. I can put out gray. I'm going to use the same brush. I don't even care about washing it. Tapping it into my paint and then coming over here and offloading it. I want it to be practically dry. And you see, isn't that cool? So I'm holding my finger in the middle where it's solid. Don't forget to offload. It might seem counterintuitive. We're trying to paint, but we're cleaning the paint off our brush. That is the best successful way to not get bleeds, is if you clean most of the paint off your brush. Offload your brush and only do light coats and gentle pouncing. And again, this doesn't have to be perfect. Nothing has to be perfect. And we're actually going to be layering another stencil over this. All right, so let's peel that up. Look how cute that is. So we have our snowman on the one side with the snowflakes. And now we just did our buffalo plaid on this side. I'm going to grab my dryer again. I'm going to grab, you don't want to introduce water to your stencil brush until you clean it, and then you want it dry when you stencil. So I'm just over here and I'm just wiping it off as much as I can. The black and the gray are fine together. It's not going to make a color that I don't want or like. So I'm just going to use the same stencil brush. I'm offloading it and I'm coming to my stencil and lightly pounding in or pouncing in my design. And let's take a peek. And there we go. Nice job. Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to pounce the paint I have just on the edge. It's giving it a nice border. I'm using my stencil brush on the edge and I'm just coming around, and it just, to me, gives it a finished look. And there is our first tag ornament with joy on the back. So let's put that one over here. I have my tree. I'm going here to my tree farm. I'm just going here to my tree farm. Let's see what we have. We have Farm Fresh Christmas trees, Merry Christmas with the truck, or Tree Farm. I think I'm going to use Tree Farm. I'm going to get a little piece of tape because I might want to do my tree down here with a different color. Pick up some black, tap it off, and come back. Light coats. Let's see. Oh, that looks good. All right, I'm going to leave that tape there. I'm going to pick up this tape. I'm just going to cover the rest with this card. I'm going to get some green. A little bit of green. Again, my paper towel. I'm going to wipe off my brush, get the black paint out as much as I can. And there goes number 2. I'm going to come back to this paint I made before with the yellow and the white. And I'm going to pounce around the edges because I didn't use the matching color like on the other one. I pounced around with the black that was in my stencil brush. I'm just pouncing around the edge here with the same color I used for the back. A little bit of this gold. And I'm using my brush in a vertical direction and doing a border. Okay, so here is this one, Tree Farm, with our beautiful Christmas tree on the other side. And then last but not least, we have this beautiful red door. Or maybe I'll do piece. I'm going to do piece. I'm going to do piece. Okay, let's get it on there. Where is that tape I had? Because I want to do my piece in a different color. So I'm going to get a little bit of paint and I'm covering my lettering because I'm going to do the greenery in green, and then I'm going to do the piece in something else. I don't know what yet. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to get out a nice red. I think I have a Tuscan red in here. Something deep. Not tomato. Yeah, Tuscan. This is a little darker. Which one is this? Oh, another Tuscan. This one. I'm just going to get a little bit of this Tuscan red. Tiny, tiny bit. And this little stencil brush. Pouncing it off. And coming back to the lettering. And there we go. I'm going to pick it up. Voila. All right, let's move these out of the way. This one I might add a little bit of a border too as well. I'm going to pick up a little bit of black paint on my palette knife. And I'm just going to come in here and I'm just going to scrape on a little bit of a border. I'm using a very light touch. And I'm going around, put my paint on the side. I just think it gives it a little bit more of a finished look than just having the bare wood. You could do it with ribbon. You can do it with twine. You can paint a separate color. Up to you. And it's just a little bit of paint, not too much. So there's our piece with our wreath. Oh, there's our piece with our wreath and our house. Here's our snowman with our joy on the back. I'm not going to do a border on this one because I have that buffalo plaid there, but I did do my stencil brush around there. And then our tree farm. This might use a border too. Let's see. Maybe I'll do it. I have black on here already, but let me pick up some green. I'm going to go around this one with some green. Just mixing it up a little bit. I got a little bit of black and green on my palette knife. And I'm just going around the edges and scraping tiny bit. And there we have it. Okay, put that in there. This one I didn't use. Hold this easy. Right. So we have 1, 2, 3 ornaments. Let me turn you guys around. So thanks for joining this 12 Days of Christmas collab ornament edition. I am Teresa. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button for me and our hosts. And check out the playlist. We have a lot of talented creators on this 12 Days of Christmas Ornament Edition YouTube playlist. Thank you guys, and I'll see you next time.